And the Dockers haven't won at the venue since 2016, so it has been quite a long time since drinks. I think Brisbane won the last four matchups against Fremantle at the venue too, so quite a fair amount of incentive on that. And particularly the last five games, Woody, I was just having a deep dive on this too. Lions are 15th for points off turnovers, 56 a game, which it just don't normally resonate with how compact and astute they are and how well they communicate with each other on the defensive end and knowing when to help one another and just knowing when to land in the right spots to intercept. And something just hasn't quite sort of gone awry the past fortnight. And against Fremantle, who do a lot of damage in terms of forward ground ball gets inside their forward 50 too, that may be probably an area that the Dockers can exploit, and particularly with the three forwards they do have with Tracy, Amos, and Voss.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things they can exploit. Apparently, all the rules with Voss as well. So yeah, I mean, Freo by 100 now that I think about it. 100 frees right in front of goal. I'm sure they'll get them all. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is an interesting match because I feel like Brisbane has been challenged in years prior, and just kind of started to find some form, and the noise has disappeared around their issues as the year goes on, and suddenly they're in a premiership and they've won it again. It's just not quite going that way yet. I still feel like Brisbane could turn the tables and get their season back on track, but the narrative that they've kind of dealt with in the past just seems to be getting to them this time, and or it just seems to mean something more. So yeah, I'm not sure that Brisbane's fully out of the woods, even if they get a win. It'd be good to against a reasonable side like Freo, but I find this one hard. I don't, unless they truly come out and put Freo to the sword. It's hard to forget what happened last week. It's hard to forget what they've done in the last month or so. And yeah, the questions get a little bit louder.
And sometimes form does take a little bit of a while to reverse around too, and trying to get a couple of solid wins in the process and try and rebuild some of that confidence too, which I think Brisbane were accustomed to 2 years ago, right? There was a back end of last season in little patches here and there. I think the Giants game at the Gabba was probably another good wake-up call, and as mentioned, against the Suns 6 weeks after that too, definitely sort of gave them that shock. And then you combined now on top with the qualifying final loss to Geelong and really having their backs against the wall and no second chances. So they've been in those positions beforehand, Brisbane. So it's nothing new, and probably expect them a lot to embrace that. And Josh Dunkley was pretty steadfast in his press conference about how this is not a blip, and you take that word with a grain of salt. Now we just have to see what happens on the field against a Dockers side with their midfield, which can put in so many rotations through there, and guys that go under the radar for their defensive work. Matthew Johnson last week, his job on Hugo Garcia. He's done a few shutdown roles the last couple of seasons. One on Ed Richards in round 4 at Optus Stadium. I think he held him to 23 disposals. So they have those magnets there, Fremantle, that they can put around, and it's going to really challenge Brisbane's midfield and challenge them for their accountability running both ways, as you mentioned too, Woody, which was absolutely non-existent in the third quarter against the Giants.